What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of BRICKcast Desktop Builds. And as you can see, we've got some more Battlebots here in the frame. That's because we're going to be building one. If you don't recognize him right in the foreground here, that is the Battlebot Huge. You can see he's got these really big wheels, which are actually made of polyurethane in real life, and also with this awesome vertical bar spinning weapon. Now, I just wanted to say a little bit about Battlebots. I really enjoy building these micro scale Battlebot replicas, and you guys seem to like the videos too. When I did that first video with Tombstone, you can see over here, and Bite Force, people really seem to enjoy that, so I'm going to be bringing out some more micro scale Battlebot builds for everybody. I think building in this kind of scale really is conducive to that sort of creativity and outside the box thinking with Lego, which I've been all about lately. So just to talk a little bit about Huge, as you can see, I think I got the geometry down pretty well. I'm really proud of how it looks, but clearly I have some color coding errors here. These wheels, which I thought that dish piece was perfect for, in real life, they are white. I have them here in gray. I didn't have any white ones in my collection. I'll talk a little bit more about it later, but if you want to build a Huge with white wheels, please do. I would love to see some of those come out of this video. And I think I've said enough there. I want to get started on this build, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a mini Huge replica of your own. I enjoy saying that, mini Huge. But anyway, let's get into it. Here are the pieces that you'll need to build Huge. Alright, now we're getting started on Huge. First off, we're going to build the sort of back, like bracing kind of bars that Huge has to actually keep it from turning over, a sort of correction mechanism. I included that in this mock, and we're going to start off with some of these hook pieces and some bars. So first off, we have these two hooks. Again, I'm using the older style. If you have the newer style, it'll actually probably work better. It's kind of hard to actually get this piece to fit on with this jointed piece here that we're going to add on, but that's no big deal. So first off, like I said, you're just going to take one of these 1x1 hooked pieces and attach it to this joint, which of course has a little indent in it that is perfect for what will go on next. And we're just going to make two identical sides of this, and I'll set those right there just like that. Then you're going to take these little stick pieces. Now, a really important thing, this is not the lightsaber piece, it's actually the shorter version. I know that Lego recently came out with this shortened version of the sort of stick piece that can like fit in minifigure hands and whatnot. So you want to be sure you're using the short version, not the long version that you normally see on like a Star Wars lightsaber or whatnot. So just take this piece, stick it right there, make sure to press it in nicely. So we've got one of the bracing pieces, and now we're going to add the other one. Nice thing is, on actual Huge in real life, these are both gray, so I think it looks best in this color. Now we set those back for a minute. We're just going to take two of this piece, which allows you to place bricks horizontally. So you're going to take this piece and you're going to turn it so that this section, that's the small 2x1 part, is on the back, and you're going to take one of these extended arms and stick it right there on the outside. Make sure that's on the outside stud. Then that will eventually bend down. Oh, there's a nice cut in that piece, but that will eventually bend down and have the outside for you. And then you want to do that, except with the other side, you want to have it on the other opposite side, so then when you sort of lay them down next to each other, you have two pieces that look like this, with the bracing mechanism and that jointed part on the outside stud of those angled parts. Moving on, we're going to build up the body of Huge. So we've got these one stud, 1x1 pieces with the attachments for the Technic pistons, and we've got some angled parts, just some small pieces to add on to really build up the base. So take one of the sides that you've been working on. It doesn't really matter which one. I've grabbed the one here with the bracing mechanism on this side. Now what you're going to do first is take this 1x1, a little light slanted piece, and place that right here on this other exposed stud on the back. That's actually going to just provide like a smooth little transition into where the spinning weapon is going to go, which will be right on this other side of the slant here. So now you just flip this over real quick, and you're going to take each one of these pieces, the Technic pin brick that we're going to add on, and they are going to go just like this. Make sure that the hole where the Technic pin attaches is facing outwards, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side, just building an identical so we can see all the way through. And then finally you just have to hold it all together. We've got this 2x1. It's going to go right here, as you probably guessed, to hold these pieces together. So now we've got one of these parts built, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're actually building the body of Huge, where he has sort of two consoles on either side of the weapon that are identical and symmetrical. So that's what we're working on here, and we're going to connect them with a piston. So do the same thing with this slanted piece. Place that right there. Grab this one. Go right there. Another one. And then place the 2x1 on the front. So now as we bring in the other piece, we have the sides of Huge. Actually, they'll be like this. Let's move on to build what makes Huge huge, and that is the awesome gigantic wheels that this Battlebot rolls around on. So a little background, when I was thinking about this design, I was like, what could I do for those wheels? You know, they're supposed to be plastic looking, and they have that sort of a webbed design, and what I eventually immediately kind of thought of was this webbed satellite piece. As you can see, if I get it close to the camera here, there you go. It is typically used in like space sets as a satellite or whatnot. I think there's a lot of these in Star Wars. I even have a transparent red one, I think, from the old Alpha Team sets. But anyway, this piece I thought would be perfect. And it turns out it scaled pretty well. But as you can see, there's a color problem with this piece. I don't have it in white. Huge's wheels are obviously white. So I was kind of disappointed in that. I actually went through my whole collection, and I was really surprised that I didn't own any of these in white. I almost ordered some off of BRICKlink. I think they cost like 3 cents, but I don't know. I didn't feel like paying the shipping costs and dealing with that. And, you know, in Lego, sometimes you got to improvise. So the wheels are going to be gray for this, but if you have white wheels, then congrats, because you're going to build a better Huge than me. But this will serve the purpose for this tutorial. And first off, with the wheels, first thing you're going to want to do is take this smooth piece with a pinhole in the middle, and as you see, it's going to line up with the pinhole in the middle of this dish piece, which is awesome that it's there, because if it wasn't, this would be a huge obstacle for us. But that hole is going to make this creation a lot easier to build. So stick that right on there, and then do the same with the other one. And we've got that. Now, these gray flick-fire missile pieces we're going to add on to the rest of our body of Huge. So bring on one of these sides, and you're going to want to make sure that you attach the flick-fire body onto the same side that the bracing mechanism is on. And actually, this piece is going to end up depicting one of Huge's other bracing mechanisms to keep it from getting flipped on its side. It actually has these bars sticking out past the wheels. So that's what this is going to depict for us. And we will do the same with our other side of the robot right here. Now we've got 2 of those. So you're going to want to have the convex part of your wheel actually attaching to that side. So This one, as you see where it's sticking out and where we've attached this piece, we're going to actually place that right there on the side of Huge, and it will stick perfectly thanks to this Technic piece right here on the Flickfire missile. It's a little wobbly, but we'll fix that in a second. And I'll go ahead and throw the one on the other side. Let's see, whoa, if I don't drop it, you can see right there. Got both of these, and Huge is a little split in half, kind of like its battle against Ice Wave, but we're going to fix it. And last piece to add on is this dish. So this is going to actually make the design look a little more flush and keep the wheel from being able to like slide off easily. So just take this dish and have it with the stud pointing outwards away from the body of Huge. Slide it right onto that piece, right onto there. And you actually might want to loosen it a little bit just to get the wheel to be able to turn. Don't push it all the way tight on there. So now I have a capability of actually turning the wheel. And as we add it onto the other side, just pick it up, slide it down there. That one spins just as well. And now we can move on to putting Huge together. And it's time to build what makes a BattleBot, and that's the weapon. So Huge has that vertical spinning bar that can hit from above. And for that, we're using a similar strategy to what we did with the Tombstone build, if you saw that video, and that is just using one of these 1x4 pieces this time, just a brick with the Technic pins in the middle to give it a spin. So first off, to build the weapon up a little bit, give it, some bars so that it can do some extra damage. We're just going to take, first off, one of these grill pieces and put that on the side of this that has studs. And then you're going to take just a regular 2x1 here, and then stick that on the side that doesn't have studs, and that'll give it, a little bit of an S shape. I feel like that makes it look a little more dangerous, especially when it's spinning fast, because it looks like it kind of has blades on the edge. So we'll set that aside for a second as we bring in the rest of Huge here from off to the side. Now, next thing, we have these exposed studs on the top, which is no fun. That doesn't really look cool. So first, we're just going to fix that with some simple 2x2 tiles. Those are going to fit literally perfectly right on top of that to give Huge that nice smooth top look that the BattleBot actually has. For the other side, we're going to take that right there. So you should have something that looks like this at this point. And now we will resolve our quest with these pinhole pieces, as we're going to take one Technic pin. Be sure to use a light gray one. Not only does it look good with the rest of the creation, but this will allow the weapon to actually spin fast, where the black or the blue one does not let pieces spin that smoothly on it. So take this, put it right there into that part, and then before we add the other side on, we're actually going to attach the weapon right there in between. Slide the weapon on, and we have that part all set up. And then it's all going to come together like one big, huge sandwich as you just smack that on there. And now we have basically everything that looks like Huge all put together. We just got to adjust these back bracers so that Huge can actually stand up. It's kind of interesting how the physics of this Lego build work similarly to Huge's actual physics, where, I'm no engineer, but I'm pretty sure it does need these bar parts to be able to stand. And then loosen that up. So Huge looks pretty good, right? Wait a minute, I know what you're thinking. Huge has those patented mean eyes that make it look so dangerous and so destructive. Well, I thought of that too. As we bring in the last two pieces that we need. One of these little pin pieces with one stud on them. I know these will fit in a minifigure hand, and they have one stud, and crazy thing is, these are the only two in my whole collection. I was pretty happy. I actually had these on a set that I got for Christmas, so that was pretty clutch buy, and it ended up being the niftiest and coolest part of this mock, where we're going to take the piece, and as you can see, it has a stud that is hollowed out, which allows us to fit it right on top of this little tube here on that 2x1 that's out facing. So stick that right there in the middle, and then if you turn it to about the right angle, just repeat that on the other side. You actually get the eyes of Huge, that sort of angry, ready to attack cartoon eye that Huge has on the front of the robot. You can actually replicate that with that piece. So that just about does it for our Huge Lego mock. Well, that is our mini Huge Lego Battlebots mock. I really enjoyed this one. I think it turned out super great. I love the eyes. I love the weapon. You know, it's functional. It rolls around, and it's got the weapon that can spin. And, you know, I think it's up there with one of my favorite mocks that I've built all year, really. It's one of my favorites, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. You know, with these BattleBots, I really want to continue building these. Like I said earlier, I love it. I have a lot of fun with these, but I don't know which one to build next, so that's where you guys come in. All you need to do is be a subscriber. Just write down in the comment section which BattleBot you'd like to see me build, and I might just give that one a shot in my next video or in another video down the road. So I'd love to hear the suggestions, and I'm going to keep moving on with these BattleBots videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed building with me. I certainly enjoyed building with you, and this has been Drew from BRICKcast Desktop Builds. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time.